space to create. The roll call for today, I'm going to do that. Joe?
Present.
Amanda? Here. Chris?
I'm here.
Jason? And I am present, Ashley. Approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes that they would like to make to the agenda?
No.
Nope.
Jason is now in attendance. Hi, Jason.
Hi.
All right. Any changes to the agenda, Jason?
Oh, I'm good.
All right. So I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the agenda.
And Chris seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Next is approval of minutes. I'm not sure if you have access, Jason, but the minutes have been put into the group here. Taking a moment. Any changes to the minutes?
I would motion to approve them.
Cool. Do I get a second?
Second.
All in favor of approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, old business, updates from VistaWorks. Lindsay, I'm sorry I don't have my laptop connected to the big TV, so we're not gonna all be able to see a presentation type thing.
That's no problem.
But you're,
I could just talk through it. That's not a problem at all.
okay, let me just make sure I'm not locked up. You have the floor.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Just as a kind reminder, since this is the second meeting of the month, this is not the meeting that I'll pull data up. I'll save data highlights for the first meeting of the month. So what Marty and I tend to do on the second half of the month when we meet is look over everything that's been done since we last met, what we're in the process of working on, things to do, just really a catch up on all tasks that are being worked on. So I'll just give you all a quick overview of some of the items that Marty and I have been working on and things that we've wrapped up recently. So we're doing a lot. Your social media is up and running now. We have 2 local content creators who we're going to be alternating between. The first is Dave, who works with Joe, and we actually just got his first content recently, and it was great. He went out and shot footage of mountain biking and hiking and seeing music, and it just brings like relevance and makes the content more timely. He also went out and shot some events. I think the Mitchell Museum was one, so we see people actually out in the community really enjoying it to its fullest, and that's what we can start to showcase on social media, so that's exciting. We also have a lot of content from our immersion trip, which we did last week, and I think a lot of you had the opportunity to meet Brian on Friday. I had left town at that point to try to beat the traffic and to pick up my son from school, so I unfortunately missed you on Friday afternoon. I got to meet a few of you individually, which was lovely. We had a wonderful time. We all just were very impressed by what's happening in Trinidad. Everyone we met was lovely. And during our time there, we also shot a lot of photos and videos, so we'll have that for social as well, and even for maybe some website updates. So some things that we've completed in the last 2 weeks, the immersion trip, of course, that was a big project. We have now a photo contest page live on the website. Marty runs this throughout the year to get new photography, and now it's digitized so folks can submit their work via form online, and all the instructions are there as well, and then we get to promote that on social. The Lazy Crazy Days of Summer campaign is digitized, and we can promote that one on social as well. We were finally able, there was a little bit of a hiccup, but we were able to get into your hosting site, which was really important because that allowed us to get into the back end of the current website and update a lot of your plugins. We updated the website theme. It just makes it easier for us to work in it and to make changes. So it sounds like a small accomplishment, but it took us a while to get in there, and now we can do a lot more, which is great. We also added a social media policy to your social accounts and your website. And the reason we do this is that if anybody ever posts anything that is very negative or they're harassing you in any way, we now have the jurisdiction to pull it down. It's especially important because this is a government social media account. You know, it may happen once every couple of years, but when it does, you're going to be really grateful that you have that policy in place, because it kind of just, it soothes your butt for the most part. So, we're continuing to add events to the calendars, to social media, so lots of good stuff happening. We're just about wrapping on a Saturday Trails Day poster for the tourism department. We have meta ads or social media ads in the queue to add to the general ad. We're going to run an event carousel, and I saw a prototype for it, and it's really neat. And you can scroll through the ad and see all the upcoming events that are happening in the city, and we have a whole spreadsheet of promotion timelines for that we use to coordinate with that social media team. So you'll start to see that soon, and then we're going to promote the Lazy Crazy Kids this summer campaign. So that's moving along. We have Marty's out today because she's on a photo shoot with the photographer that we brought in to capture photos for some digital itineraries that we're building out. I'm just reading through my deck and a few other little things. We have videos that are coming our way. We'll develop a YouTube channel soon for you folks so that you have a place for all those videos to live. We're waiting for Jeff's final videos to come in, and then we'll tackle that. We'll put all the videos we have thus far all on there, plus those new ones. Then we're working through, this is kind of a neat project. So Marty signed up for Destination Colorado, which is a state-run organization that promotes venue space, and she's currently reaching out to all of the individual venues in the city to get their specific information, like how many people they can hold, what sort of amenities do they offer. And what this is going to do for us is give us a big database of all the venues that are available. If we do a full website redo in the future, we can have that information available. We can start promoting the city even more as a conference destination, if you will, and that brings in a lot of people. So we're kind of at the early stages of gathering all that data, but it's happening, so that's great. And that's everything I have so far. If anybody has any questions, comments, requests?
I know he's really happy about being signed up for Destination Colorado.
Anybody questions?
When I have this personal, do y'all have any of the extra, that nice poster y'all did for 420?
I don't have any printed copies because we didn't print them. Marty might have those, but we have the digital version that we can certainly share if you want to print one.
Okay.
But I would ask Marty if he's got some sitting around for sure. She has the original file. She used to print them.
All right, I'll check with her.
Did anybody? I heard the weather was not as spectacular as you would have hoped, but did anybody make it to the festival?
Well, we were discussing it, and if it hadn't been, it basically rained twice.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the way it started out with 600 or 700 people there at the gate to come in. Then they all left because of the rain, and then when it cleared up, they started coming again, and then it rained again. I would estimate they'd have had at least 2,000, maybe 3, if it had been good weather. There were no issues. Everything was fine, except for the rain. So I would count it as a success.
Yeah.
you know, with an asterisk by the weather.
We saw a lot of people. Yes, my company
Majority
had.
from here, would you say more than 50% was from here, or?
I'd probably say a lot of them are from here.
Okay.
But I did see quite a few people come through from Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. So they were finding us.
I made a trip to Amarillo, and before I did, I talked to Amanda to Diane and Jack and Diane, kidded them about this song. But they gave me some swag and coupon stuff, and I took to radio stations in Amarillo, and they talked about it because, you know, a lot of people from there come up here. So hopefully, you know, something came about. Weren't too disappointed in the weather.
What is the name of this person?
This is Lindsay. Lindsay is with the Destination IQ.
And Lindsay, this is Erin Ogletree. I'm in City Council. I'm just sitting in for Mayor Grego today. And I did get to go, and I think it was the beginning, I would think, of an event that we could promote in the future, and I think it'll get us a foothold in this part of the state, because there's no other 420 festival down in this part of the state that I'm aware of. So I think it was a good start.
Yeah. I agree. I think I would love to see it happen again next year. Our fingers crossed that the weather holds.
Yeah, 420's on Easter next year, so.
Thwarted by weather. But we got that many folks, despite the rain. I think that's a great start.
Yes.
I know it felt very secure, and I have not heard of any resident complaints around there. So, you know, that was some of the things the city council was concerned about, people observing. But I have not heard any negative comments from the community. So that's I think a very real success.
Yes, I was told that too. There were no complaints, which is excellent and
Well,
almost unheard of.
The Facebook people that complain about everything were praising it, so.
Yeah,
That is something.
that's great. Anything else for Lindsay? I'm not sure if, Lindsay, you will have some information on our next agenda item. We were just going to talk about the website refresh. I know you did mention it.
I do have it. Yes, thank you for bringing that
No worries.
up. According to Marty, the spend for the refresh and the updated ADA compliance is coming out of reserves, and that spend has been approved. So we're going to move forward with it. In fact, I just reached out to my designer today to share all the details with her, so we can get that squared away and have her hit the ground running. So that's going to move along. And again, that's going to be in combination with the ADA compliance, because there's some overlap between design and the compliance. And then we'll have our technical director do kind of the back end ADA compliance work, which means making sure that everything is labeled, all the media is labeled correctly, all your metadata is up to speed. So we'll get you tip-top shape.
So I think we're all probably in agreement that we want to move forward with that. I know we discussed this at the last meeting, but I don't believe we ever held a vote on it. So
No, so this will not be an actionable item for us. The funding was approved by Steve to come out of the reserve funding.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I
took
just
it out of
wanted
our
to
pocket.
check the protocol around that. Yeah.
Well, it falls in their bailiwick too, so.
Which website is it? Is it the city website, or is it a different
I
website?
think it's the tourism.
Yeah.
Visit Trinidad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, so we don't have any actions to take on that item. Just kind of a refreshing and letting us know what is happening.
Yeah, thank you for the reminder.
Oh, no worries. Anything else for Miss Lindsay?
When we talk about the Fox 21 proposal down here. I would love to get Lindsay's feedback on it because I had experience with Fox 21 2 years ago with the chamber. And I didn't know what her perspective is because they changed their branding to be all about different communities in in Colorado.
So Lindsay, are you aware of the Fox 21 proposal?
Yes, is that the one where they go and they film businesses?
Yeah,
This is us.
they're soliciting sponsors, and as a sponsor, they would come and like do bumpers and interviews and things featuring your business. It looks like this is happening one way or another, so I don't know what we're talking about today.
I have some update on that actually.
Okay. Well, first let me just make sure, is everyone okay with us skipping ahead to this item so we can talk to
Yeah.
Nancy about it later?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure we we're okay with that. Okay, thanks, Jason. All right.
So I'll have to I'll have to touch base with Marty about the details again. We talked about it briefly when I was in town last week, but the general opinion between the two of us is that we want to move forward in some capacity. I think last year there was a more sizable financial contribution from tourism in the city to do a larger tier, if you will. This year she wants to participate, but at a smaller tier. I have to touch base again to remind myself the exact number of where we're going to find that budget. But we may do some shifting around of some things that we have in the marketing budget to cover the tourism department side. But the general, like I said, we would like to participate because the businesses were so thrilled about the outcome and we want to provide that service again.
So this is for, this packet would go to our local businesses and they would be the ones that would sponsor?
Yeah, I've already received a copy of this from Jared Chatterley for Outdoor Rec, so to the bike shop. So that is my understanding is that like if you want to be featured, you have to pay to be sponsored. So I'm just not clear what the city pays for. Like, are we buying in at one of these levels just to feature Trinidad, or is there like a top level thing that gets them to come down and then the businesses all have to buy this on top of that? So I don't know. This packet doesn't clear things up for me in terms of what is the city's participation. You know.
And do you know the history on Fox 21? They changed their brand about 2 years ago to just be feature local communities within Colorado. And one of the first cities they started with was Trinidad. So with the Chamber of Commerce, they worked with the Chamber of Commerce and featured a whole lot of the businesses. And a lot of the local businesses were very, very happy with the outcome.
Yeah, we got interviewed. I didn't pay a dime. I think that they just didn't have content and they started just reaching out. So that was great for us because I cannot afford a sponsorship package. I'm sure a lot of other people could not either. So.
And at the time, what I remember is I thought there was, number one, it didn't cost anywhere for them to come down and feature Trinidad, but I think they were building their brand at the time. And for the local advertisers, theirs were like $500 or something. It was much, much cheaper because the whole week was about Trinidad.
I gotcha.
Cheapest one.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be seeing a lot of bikes coming in at $3,000 to $10,000.
No, you're not. I'm betting this is like a
So I
city
guess
sponsorship.
I'm confused because why is this with us?
Well, Steve might like an answer.
Yeah.
It's like they're hired June 3rd to June 7th. So I'm sure that we need to make a decision relatively soon.
Yeah, because our next
May 9th.
meeting is.
Is Fox 21 in Denver or is it in the Springs?
It's in the Springs.
Well, it sounds like Lindsay, you're talking to Marty about this.
Then it's Colorado Springs.
If local businesses
I'll
were,
put it on my,
How much is the proposal for? I don't know.
it's not really a proposal, Jason. There's several sponsorship packages, but it looks like those are for the individual like businesses once this thing starts. So the packet is not very clear about what we would be paying for as the city, or if we're supposed to be paying for one of these. If these are the packages, like if that's it, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's something that should go to our local businesses. There are 4 tiers of sponsorship available, Jason. The top one is $10,000. Then we have a level that's $49.95, then a $29.95, and the lowest is $15. Okay, yeah, you probably got one. Then, yeah. I'm not sure why it was brought up to our group.
will now be recorded.
No, well, it was recording earlier, okay. But I'm not sure why we have it.
You just got muted. Turn it up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Well, that's weird.
Y'all had any more hacking?
Can you hear me now? I don't know what happened.
Very weird.
Because that's usually what happens when they're recording the meeting.
Let me see if I can jump on it.
Go back in.
This conference will now be recorded.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I had to leave and come back in order to turn the mic on. Yeah, I don't see, unless we're gonna have requests to help cover that expense. Not sure, but I'm glad to have it. I'll bring it to. So that other one people see what they want to do.
Just looking at it, it's basically a promotion to run spots on television in Colorado Springs, and I
This conference will now be recorded. Be recorded. Be recorded.
All right, we got the owl running.
Alright, got the owl.
to finish my thought, I think if we were going to run TV spots, Colorado Springs, Amarillo, anywhere, Albuquerque, that should be left up to DIQ if they choose to do it. I'm not sure why we'd want to just buy spots.
Yeah, I would also defer to the agency on this. I'm not super stoked on TV advertising, but if people think that is valuable, I'll defer. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I don't really see that we have anything that's actionable on that item either. We'll get more information about it maybe when Steve comes in or next time from Marty. See what it was they were wanting us to do with that. So if anybody has unless anybody has an objection, let's move on to the next item. It's an update on the reserve transfer, which I'm going to skip because I'm assuming Ms. Ogletree doesn't know about that.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have
yeah.
Steve today.
He
said
he's going to be about 30 minutes.
You want to let Lindsay go? She wants to go.
Oh, Lindsay, I think that's all for you if you're ready to go.
She
Thank
may-
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you in
Lindsay.
a few weeks.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Right.
So let's skip that update, come back to it when Steve arrives. Next is the funding request from Trinidad Art Fest. I have a copy here if anybody needs to look at it. I think you were not here last. Correct.
Is it in here too?
I do not think so, no.
I have another one if you're curious.
It was, that's one that was very well put together.
Her organizational skills are on.
Oh, they are, absolutely.
She is very talented.
She does a
Thank you so
lot of
much.
research.
Yes.
So you probably know this as well, Ashley, but Marty mentioned to me when I was chatting with her about something else unrelated that so the replenishment of the festival funding has not occurred yet. So she said she does not want to deny either of these proposals.
I have information on that.
Okay,
The arts proposal comes out of the
Right.
art funding. This proposal comes out of Parks and Rec.
yeah, so she's suggesting
So
that
we
we
don't
use our
have
other
to use
buckets.
festival funding for
Okay.
those. So the Trinidad Art Fest, that one's kind of a big ask. They want $15,000. The only thing about that is that would be the largest amount that we've given to anybody so far. We gave A.R. Mitchell 5, and we gave Blank Main Street Live 5. So I don't know that it would be, I know that part of her proposal and what she wanted the money for was some marketing stuff, which we do have access to marketing for that event. We did kind of lay that out with her last time, that there were options for marketing and stuff. I don't think we should give her.
No, and
I don't think that
I was
would
talking
be
to Steve about it. Yeah, he
fair.
did
I
say
know the price
15.
is not fair. But
I thought he said like 35. It's 5,000 when I was talking to him yesterday.
The difference between Main Street Live and Mitchell, and then this has the potential for a larger impact on tourism. Those two do have an impact, but it's on a smaller scale, just what it is. I think it warrants more than they get, but maybe not the 15, even if we did 75 or something like that, just because of its potential to really become something
And sorry,
in the future.
why did they come up with 15 as opposed to the past couple of years for requests?
Because they know to ask for as big
Well,
a sum as they
Did
can
you go
get.
big or go home? Is
It's
that-
because they're
what was-
moving to Main Street. So there's a number of other logistics things like porta potties, trash management.
Oh, okay.
It's a larger festival this year.
Yeah, they're making it a big deal, and it could be with the organization skills they have on their board. So
I attended it last year. I was one of the judges in the arts. They came, Lee Lopez came to Arts and Culture, which I also liaison to, and she presented what they were doing this year and the expansion of it. And I have to say, I think as a festival in Trinidad, it has a great deal of potential. There's nothing like it in this part of the state, and it's grown every year. So I've talked with Karen as well about this, and both of us just want you to know that we support what they're asking for. So
I'm not saying we're not going to give them anything. I'm just saying it's 15.
And our
That's
costs
3
are-
times what they've asked for in the past.
And we always talk about that. It's just April. Good the
It
whole
is,
year.
and honestly, that line item, do we have that?
Yeah, so that's my biggest question.
How much is in the line?
What have we spent out of the arts funding? Because it wouldn't have been festivals where we gave to like Mitchell, for example. That is probably $5K out of the arts stuff because it wasn't a specific thing. It was just general support money. Let me poke through the minutes a little bit. Side note, do we need a treasurer? Like just to keep track of
Track of
budget stuff? I mean, I could start a spreadsheet for that as well and just be updating it as we vote to approve things. But
If that's going to be the best mechanism to where we have this information.
yeah, I mean, right now we're relying on Marty, who may or may not always know off the top of her head or be prepared to provide that. So I feel like
She
keeping
does
track.
have something as like spreadsheet
Mhm.
set up. Maybe she can give us access.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know if we remember access.
and this is just pondering, are we not?
I had a request if you guys could put on the app because people online can't hear you.
It's on the owl.
It is?
Yeah.
people online.
Are we obligated to take a vote on what they requested? And if it doesn't go, then go down from there? Or, I don't
We
know.
didn't do that last time.
I know. And I thought that last time, but it just now came to mind. I don't know. I'm asking what y'all think.
I'm not sure.
I guess unless somebody makes a motion that we give them all of it and see where it goes, then it's not really required.
And wouldn't it be a good thing to address in our retreat where we talk about we have X amount of dollars, how are we gonna make that spread throughout the whole year? Because we have had repeated conversations about it's just April or it's just March. How much are we gonna have if somebody
Yeah.
comes in September?
Well, of course, this is coming out of that arts budget, but
Arts and culture, right? So when the Historic Preservation Board does their yearly thing, do they usually come to this board for funding? Like echoes of history? Like that would be something there. I'm trying to think of things that would fall under this category that happen every year. Like how many more events could we expect that
are arts wise.
under this category for the rest of the year?
Right.
I don't recall any, and I don't think we would have really realized that if it hadn't been brought up that you didn't have to come out of the festival's budget.
So if Main Street Live or A.R. Mitchell want to come back, the arts and culture, correct?
Yeah, unless it's for a specific event.
Or it could be, isn't there another thing about, what is the other thing? Quality of life
Yeah.
things?
Well, these are all
Yeah.
considered part of that.
Okay.
That's like the language used in the ordinance to describe that, but the specific line items are arts and culture, festivals and events, and
Recreational facilities.
recreational facilities and programming.
I do think, Chris, you made a good point that this is, it's more tourism oriented than those other, also quality events are. I know that there are like 47 artists who are coming to town, and so that will definitely help with heads and beds.
Okay, I found the info. So we have 25,000 available for 2024 in the local arts and cultural program funding. We have allocated 2,500 to the Triggers, 5,000 to Main Street Live, and 5,000 to Mitch. So we are about halfway through.
So if we get 15,000, we'll be done with it.
We would be over budget.
Maybe over.
Oh, actually, no. We have
Yeah.
2,500 bucks left. Assuming we haven't, I don't think we've done anything else out of that pool yet. Those are the three that I recall.
I would expect both of those guys to come back to us before the end of the year.
So, yeah, I mean, even at 10K,
We gave some triggers.
No, I meant the Main Street and A.R. Mitchell.
Okay. Oh,
But I know that both were very disappointed that they didn't get what they were asking
Right.
for. I did send kind of a message, I guess, Steve asked me about it, and I told him our thinking behind it was that if they wanted more through later in the year, they could always come back and ask for some more. But if we gave it all away in the beginning of the year, we wouldn't have anything for anybody else. And they were okay with that, so I don't know if they're actively planning, or have a plan to come back. But I'd like to leave the option open if they do.
Yeah.
yeah, and actually, I did my math wrong. Yeah, if we did the full 15, we're over budget. At 10K, we'd have 2,500 left for the whole rest of the year. So I am inclined to come in 5 again on this, or potentially 7,500, but that still is going to be slim pickings. I do think that these will tail off after probably like midsummer.
Right.
Folks
And
are
this is
planning
also,
ahead.
the request is being made in April and the event is in July, so, right?
So yeah, 7,500, we have 5 grades left to work with, which is still not a lot. Yeah.
Is it possible to use 2 different line items for this? Like we use half of the funding from arts and culture and another half from either like advertising or access, since falls under all arts and culture, but it's also definitely, I don't know, probably the second biggest tourism event behind the ride this year.
I thought that advertising was fully accounted for under VistaWorks budget. I'm pretty sure
That's
that's
that 9,000 that we have, that we parceled out 3,000 here, 3,000 here. I'm not sure what we have left in that. But they have like one little line item in our budget, marketing budget, that was for like our pet project.
Right, that's the.
Like radio, or if we were gonna do
No, radio has its own line item.
does it? Okay.
Or it did, it used to.
I think I would make a motion that we give them 7,500, and encourage them with the fact that we will have marketing tools through DIQ and everything to help promote the event too. Which, you know, we can't dedicate a certain amount of money, but we can, you know, that's there and it's available, and it's going to be something that they're going to want to put on, you know, the social media stuff. So that's a motion.
Motion, I second.
All right, so I guess we can go to take a vote. Motion on the floor is to dedicate $7,500 to the Trinidad Art Fest. All in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to add with the assurance that there will be promotion from?
From what budget is that from?
From the arts and culture budget. If we take $7,500 out of the arts and culture, that'll leave us 5. Say what?
Sorry, I'm having a super hard time understanding anything you guys are saying. How much is left in that budget for the year?
If we give the arts festival $7,500, we will be left with 5,000.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should provide them more than 7,500, since we've been giving 5,000 to some events that I don't think have nearly the tourism draw of this, and that's, I think, the best use of our budget is to provide funding for events that actually bring tourism. So is there any, I couldn't hear your response, but I asked if we could split half of the request from like excess or from festival funding and the other half from arts and culture. Is that possible?
Unfortunately, there's no one here that knows the procedures that can answer.
And I think that would be confusing enough to delay us in getting answers. If we could just take it out of one budget, it'd be easier to be done, you know, one budget line.
Yeah, I don't particularly care what budget it comes from, but I think we should fund them more than 7,500.
You have a motion on the floor and a vote.
I do. So that's a no from Jason, right? No to the 7,500?
It's just because I want it to be more. It's not a no.
Well, we have a motion on the floor for $7,500 that has been seconded. I have 2 votes for yes. What is your vote?
I'm prepared
I mean,
to.
I guess, yeah.
I'm prepared to do a new motion if it gets voted down. So
I guess yes. I just wish this is not how we got to this.
Well, Jason, we don't have $15,000 to give them.
I was gonna change it.
Right. I'm just saying if there was other options to pull more in for an event that does bring tourism in, I feel like those should be getting the highest amount of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand.
So yes, my vote's 7,500, and we could move on since I don't think we're making progress here.
I mean, it's still acceptable to have discussion, guys. Like, we can vote it down and put a new motion forward after we talk about it a little bit. That's not a problem. So
Well, the motion's in place, the discussion usually happens. We can have the discussion. We don't have to like motion and then vote. The motion gets put in place, there's a discussion, and then there's a vote.
Yeah, which the
So we
discussion
can
is taking
discuss it
place.
some more if you'd like. So the motion on the floor
Yeah.
was to give 7,500. I'm hearing that Jason wants to give them more. We would have an additional 5,000 over the 7,500. I understand that this is a good event and that it will bring people in. I don't know about $15,000. So.
No. And I'm wondering, I didn't look at the itemized list, but how much of it is promotion, marketing? And how much of that can VistaWorks fill in? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I already put a seed in Lee's mind about that when she came to present as well, just to be like,
And this works can help a little bit with marketing, but these guys do like full scale real marketing, like not to the level of the Rad Fest, but to similar where they're running campaigns on multiple platforms in multiple cities. So, VistaWorks can help a little bit with that, but I don't think they could put aside the resources to do what these guys do, and that's why their event brings in that amount of people. I think it's a nice thing to add and to help with that, but I think they were spending like more than $10,000 on marketing. So a couple of social media posts is not going to get the same, effect.
What is it going, how much is it going to hamper them if we don't give them the full amount? I know they didn't expect the full amount, nobody ever does, just history of this, of tourism action here. If I amended my motion to make it 10, would that make you feel better, Jason?
It would.
I will amend my motion. I'm assuming this is legal to make it 10,000.
I don't have my bobs with me.
But I don't have a second on the 10.
Second.
I call for a vote.
So we call for a vote, what about
On 10,000.
Joe, you look like you're thinking hard over there.
I'm thinking about what else that I know is in the pipeline. That's all. I generally agree. I think that this is a great event that, in my opinion, deserves additional funding. So I will vote yay. What I was thinking was, could we approve the 7,500 today and try and look more seriously at budget and money movement to supplement that later? So we can be like, here's 7,500, we've got this on the way for you, and we're going to try and get more from elsewhere. But it doesn't really matter. Like, either way, we're going to have to juggle funds around. So we might as well just move forward with this thing that we know we have, bird in the hand, so to speak. And then we can, once again, look at replenishing this.
What are the rules around juggling things? I mean, when you look and you go,
That's
this kind of fits
we're
into
getting
this
off track here
category.
because we have a call for a vote.
So, you voted yay. Go ahead.
Yay.
I kind of like 7,500 now, and then let's look around and see what we can do.
It's for 10 right now, so is that a no?
That's enough.
And Jason, yours was?
Sorry, say that again.
I'm sorry,
You
the
guys.
vote for 10,000? Are you in favor? Or are
I would
you
vote yes.
in favor? Well, I mean, the motion passes.
Did
Okay.
you vote?
Thank you. Yes, you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You want to say it officially?
Okay, so that's, if motion passes, That is $10,000 granted to the Trinidad Arts Fest.
$10,000. It's a line from the plot.
From your Sadie Sloan.
Yeah.
All right,
$10,000.
so that one's done. Fly Fishing Film Festival is next. Here's this one.
And what did they ask for? How much?
Oh,
$3,000.
$3,000 for these guys. That would come out of Parks and Rec. I'm okay with that.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
A reasonable, well, let's talk.
I know, well, we can discuss it after we make a motion. I'll make a motion that we do the 3,000.
I second.
Discussion.
Discussion. Are you for or against it, and why? Why should we or why shouldn't we?
Let me flip through this really quick. I don't know. This is not an event that I see turning into a large draw.
I know they did it last year. How did it go? Did anybody know? You were on the board last year. Did they come for funding?
Well, and I think it was theater, and I think they had pretty much full board, so I think it was fairly successful.
I know this is not a demographic that I am familiar with, but it is a popular demographic, especially for this area, being that the Purgatory River is right here. I see people out on the river all the time fly fishing. I don't know if they had a good turnout last year.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it too, but supposedly we have really good fishing, and this is about the time of year where they bring fish down, and it's a good kickoff for fishing, from what I understand.
Let's see.
And I think they do some demonstrations on how to fly fish this fall.
Yeah, let's see there.
Well, these are the kind of things that we want to encourage and get the word out that we're doing to continue to add things for the visitors we invite here to do, on top of, what we do with, quality of life issues here that are, trails and things that we need to. The more we can improve, obviously, the better attraction we are. This is another one of those to add to the list. Things that are going on. There's specific clientele that will seek something like this out and come here and bring family, and then they have a good time and it works. They come back and we grow on it. That's one of the reasons we've lost things in the past, because we haven't had the consistency to support it and keep it in the spotlight and keep it relevant. That's all I have to say.
This is our largest funding bucket outside of advertising, would be the Parks and Rec. So if we're taking it out of there, we have the money to spend. I'd rather get some of those larger, capital intensive things that we've been talking about moving out of that. I just don't know how much I fully trust Howard and Carlos to successfully advertise, in contrast to the Arts Fest, where I saw ads, they were very well produced, etc. So just in terms of the tourism draw, I don't see it as much. I definitely agree, building up Trinidad as a fly fishing destination is a great angle to take, pun intended. But I guess the biggest advantage I see out of this is alignment with these other organizations that are in that. I'm sure that a decent chunk of the funds is basically going towards that, licensing that. So the programming and whatnot. They say, let's see here, 3,000 towards advertising, radio, paper, TV, and banners. Yeah, and it doesn't say anything about just like getting the festival programming itself. Film, $200. So I don't know, maybe it gets us some traction with those orbs and they help put extra spotlight on Trinidad. You know, that to me, that's the biggest advantage. I don't think a lot of people are going to be traveling just for the film fest itself. That's probably going to be mostly local. So all that said, you know, I'm not crazy about spending the full $3,000. It sounds like everyone else is more on board than I am. I would give them some funding. I guess it's already less than last year. It says they got $5,000 last year. So yeah, I defer to you guys on this one, I guess. It's not my favorite, but I don't want to blow them off either.
Jason?
Here's a quote. Is there something that we're allowed to do? So, say for example, they ask for 3,000. Maybe we give them 2,000, and then we take 1,000 of it and give it set aside for advertising from VistaWorks.
Oh.
Like, can we do like that?
I don't
Since
think.
we had some concerns over their advertising capabilities, like more take it in hand and then know that it's going to go out to an expert or something like that. Like, is that something that we can do? I'm just throwing it out there. It's kind of a question.
I'm not like 100% certain, but I feel like if we're going to give them 2,000 and then say the other 1,000 is to VistaWorks, that 1,000 that would go to VistaWorks would have to come out of that line item in the marketing budget.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's just an additional 1,000 that we give to VistaWorks on top of the 100,000 contract, right?
Yeah, I don't want to give it to VistaWorks. I want to give it to social media advertising budgets. So we're already paying them to manage campaigns, but I just want that money to go directly to the campaign. I don't know if that's too complex.
Like $1,000, we can put it directly. Like I'm saying, we can do $1,000 to the campaign, but it would not come out of that line item. It would come out of the marketing line item that we have for our pet projects. That started at 9,000. I'm not sure what it has left. We can designate that they would advertise for that, but I'm pretty sure it would have to come out of that particular
It could be
budget.
500, it could be kind of whatever we want, but it was more just a way to think about how we can support people, but that might need some additional help with the advertising, and that's kind of what VistaWorks is for. Some events will have, better advertising capabilities and others won't, so it could be a way to help make sure that the money goes to where it could turn into revenue the best, for the town.
That would be definitely a Steve question.
Yeah.
And he's stuck. He's not.
Yep.
When is that tournament? When is that event?
June 1st.
So we would have time to consult with Steve.
Well, not really. Our next meeting is May 9th, and that
Yeah,
should
you're
be
right.
starting promotion now.
What if we gave them 3,000 on the contingency that they consult with us on their marketing,
We
or
don't know how to do that?
That how we
I mean, I feel like that's within our purview.
okay? Well, I just asked them a question,
Yeah,
trying to find
that's a good
something to
question.
satisfy them.
I don't know if we can, if we can hold them.
Give them one more chance and see if they do it correctly.
I think I would look at what they presented to you that they intend to do, and you can hold them to that. They've told you what they intend to do, so if that's not sufficient, then that's, I think, would affect your support or not support of the amount.
This is not paperwork. They didn't really like lay out a plan.
Yeah,
They just kind of said, here's what our budget is.
why didn't they have Lee do their research for us? They do.
It's not much. It looks like they're asking for their advertising.
Yeah, essentially asking for the advertising budget.
Which is what this board used to do, just give them advertising.
Yeah.
They don't have any social media advertising on here.
Is Lee part of that? Did she help them?
I don't think so.
Obviously not, since,
Yeah,
I would
because if
say
she had,
that.
she would have included all the research.
yeah.
But
That,
it is
because
colors.
that proposal is nothing like the one, the arts,
Yeah.
that she did.
It's hard to believe they came from the same house.
So I would say what about, so I think we actually have a motion on the table,
For 3.
to which I would vote nay, but approving $2,000 supplementing via DIQ/VistaWorks, so social media advertising, etc. And basically instruct VistaWorks to dedicate
Some amount of advertising.
some of their budget for the next month, because it's starting in June, so ads through May that are running for this.
So you said you're proposing that, but you're gonna say.
Well, I
No,
will,
it's
Say
nay
nay
because we
to-
have a motion.
There's a motion.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I will amend again my motion for what you said, if you'll repeat it for the new motion.
So I would motion to provide $2,000 from our recreation line item, recreation facilities and programming, to the Fly Fishing Film Festival, and to further instruct Destination IQ to dedicate a portion of their social media budget for the month of May towards promoting this event.
And that doesn't come out of special projects budget, that's out of the existing.
That would be the existing budget.
Yeah, that's out of their stuff.
Okay.
They're already, actually, it doesn't come out anything, it's just another focus that they'll put in their ads.
Yeah.
So the motion has been amended. I have a motion on the floor that we give $2,000 to the Fly Fishing Festival and ask for this Destination IQ to designate some of their social media budgeting to advertise as well.
Yes,
I think
Yeah,
it
their
was,
message,
you need
yeah.
a second.
So I need a second for that
I
motion.
second.
Okay, now can we take a vote? I just want to make sure the motion was understood.
Good time.
That I understood. So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Yes.
So that one passes.
And why couldn't we have taken that same approach with this?
This,
Yeah.
we are.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Well,
still
I
gonna
mean-
get support from DIQ.
We are gonna,
Yeah, they are
it's not
gonna
gonna be the
support.
2,500. We
Yeah.
thought we were gonna do 7,500 and then say,
No, we did 10. And then,
well,
because
originally
their,
we were 7,500.
their advertising budget on their paperwork was 6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, all we're asking them to do is take what they've already budgeted and planned and just focus on some of these items.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Fly Fishing Festival, done, done. Recreational facilities and programming, next steps for high priority projects. I know that's something you were working on, Joe.
We need Steve for that.
You need Steve for that?
Yeah, just trying to figure out, so we've identified a few different things to propose that the city funds, and so how do we get the ball rolling on that? So,
Was part of that with Parks and Rec and the
correct.
additional trails?
Yeah, so the items that we have identified are playground equipment, installation and repairs, wayfinding signage, so whether we use what's existing, coat it with material, get it installed, and then trail building at the wormhole and or the new city parcel. So those are the 3 projects that we're recommending. Need to figure out how we begin those.
So where would that come from? Would that come from?
These are all
parks, money?
yes, recreational facilities and programming land.
Money from
We gotta get bids. So determining, scope of project. This is not.
Okay.
We don't sit here and direct these projects. Like this, we're not trail
that.
builders.
So who would
Myself,
do the
that's
RFP for that? Would it be us or Parks and Rec?
This is the question.
That's the question.
Is just what are our next steps to proceed with these items?
Does it cost to get an RFP? No, right?
No, but like the city clerk, I assume, would put that together, and then it would be distributed by Marty, most likely.
Would it make sense to put out an RFP, get bids, and then ask for funding? Or does it you ask for funding and then get the bids?
Typically, you know how much money you are
Yeah.
saying that you are willing to pay for the service that you're asking.
And so we need to refine these further as well. So, like it's been mentioned, the big playground equipment one was that missing slide. Everybody loves to harp on that. I know that there are broader repairs that are needed. So, who goes out and documents that stuff and says, these are the things that need replacement, and then we go talk to contractors, say like, what might this cost, so we can put a dollar number on that. Is that really something our board does? Like, do I need to go out to a playground and start Googling how much it costs to install a slide? I don't know, honestly. Or does that come?
This board? No.
Does that come from the city first? It's just not totally clear what the next phase should be to just get these projects, even the initial bid out there.
That does definitely sound like something the city would have to weigh in on and direct.
Yeah. So I guess we're just pushing that again.
Can do. The next one is the funding request application for the farmer's market.
Hi, Krista, you're up. If you can hear us.
Hi, team. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you great.
Yes? Yes. Okay, great. So I just wanted to come in really quickly and talk about the farmers market and some of the things we're sort of working for this year. We have a really lovely program with COG where it's called our Senior Bucks program, and COG provides so much money to the seniors at our senior center here, and we match that. And so part of what we're asking for in the 3,500 is part of our senior program to be able to match that. Because, and let me start from the beginning, I tend to start right in the middle of a conversation. We really are working, our goal in farmers market in the next 3 years is to really reach people in our community that maybe don't have the opportunity otherwise. Trinidad Farmers Market is not just a Saturday event, it's where people actually get their food. We are recipients of WIC and SNAP, so we work with those programs with the state. We've just recently attended the state conference, myself and the treasurer, to learn more about some of the laws and things that have changed. So we work really closely with these state programs to try and get to the people in our community, unlike larger populated communities, to really reach our community, to really talk to people, to really reach people for seniors, even working this year to print some of our items in both Spanish and English. So again, we're being a bit more inclusive. What that looks like, and as we're sort of beginning to have a goal and have a real 5-year plan for the market instead of just kind of showing up every year and just doing the same things. Part of that includes our senior programs. I wanted to make sure that's the very localized program. I understand that part of it. We recently are trying to gather data about our farmers market, which is tricky when you have individual vendors. But from what we have and what we're looking at, running zip codes to understand where people are coming from, where we need to advertise, we found that 70% of the card users that we have on Saturdays at the farmers market are from out of town, and about 47% of that is from out of state. So we're reaching a pretty large audience, and some of that's just because it's Saturday. People are stopping by, they want something to do with their kids. This year we also have some new programming when it comes to classes every single week. So something to keep people interested locally coming back. whether that's a canning class, a cooking class, a bear compost class, a yoga class. We have sort of a schedule that we're putting together for weekly events that keep people coming. We find by middle of the season, especially after certain things are out of season, we tend to drop off in population. So we're really trying to make sure that that is something that's still interesting to everybody. We provide reusable shopping bags with our logo on it. We've had that for 2 years now. That's been a really important part. It seems like such a small thing, but a farmer's market is a very particular audience. They tend to carry that bag around with them all year long. So we're a big fan of those. That's so the money would be going to our reusable shopping bags, our senior program matching bucks, and then just the 2 banners that get printed up. One from downtown, and then one for the park.
Sweet. Thank you, Krista.
Try to keep it concise. I know we've got a lot to cover, but these are the things that we're asking for to keep our farmers market sustainable, not just for our local community, because that's obviously important as well, but who we're reaching that's coming off the highway on Saturday afternoon. So we want to direct them a little more to that, some more wayfaring signage that says, hey, there's a farmer's market going on. We have a website now, we do applications online now, so we're growing and changing, but those things are obviously why we're coming to you and asking for a little support in that. And we do keep the margins pretty slim. We are a farmer's market, not very glamorous, but certainly a necessary event for our community every single Saturday in the summer.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Krista?
Question?
No, personal questions I won't ask yours.
Krista, what were the out of town numbers one more time for me?
Can you say that? I'm so sorry, it's cutting out.
I'm sorry, the numbers that you said were people that were from outside of Trinidad?
Oh, got it. So, this is not for the entire market. I want to be clear about that. It's really hard to track a lot of cash transactions, which is a huge part of our farmers market, obviously. Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, I was trying to read the chat at the same time. So this is not every bit of this. This is for the people that we can get that information from. Not everybody accepts credit cards. Of our SNAP and the credit card reports that we've asked for this year, 72% of that is from out of Trinidad and 47% is out of state.
Of that 70%.
I can't totally confirm that because I haven't done the statistics, but she's probably close to right, just from being a long time vendor.
I didn't quite hear Chris, but I know he's talking.
Yeah, I said I can confirm in not with
Oh,
facts.
great, thank you.
Yeah, not with facts, but I can confirm that it's pretty close to what she's saying because after 6 years of being at that market as a vendor, I would say that's pretty close, as far, because I ask everybody that comes up where they're from, and it amazes me the number of Texans and others, but a lot of out-of-town people. So.
And this is for promoting.
And we provide the signage for the vendors when it comes to accepting SNAP and WIC. We spend time with those vendors, kind of training them on some of those things. So it's a labor of love, obviously. All these volunteer things are, but like Chris said, he's been at the farmers market quite a bit, 6 years. That's a great number, and I think he can probably speak to kind of mid-season slump. That's what we're trying to really kind of overcome by making sure people know the market's still going on. We do lean a lot on our Facebook page. I know that's not the most effective piece of advertising necessarily, but it tends to reach the audience that we're going for. We have new social media folks running our Instagram, things like that. So we're really beginning to reach outside of Trinidad because we know that's where people are coming from. So thanks for consolidating my story. Chris, I appreciate you.
Do you have a question, Amanda?
No, I don't think so. Oh, well, only on this, it looks like you would be using the money for the Senior Bucks program?
Oh, sorry. I had it muted. Go ahead.
Oh, it looks like you would be using the money for the Senior Bucks program, is that right?
It's a combination of our reusable shopping bags, our senior program, and our 2 banners. And that's really, that's the only cost we sort of have left at this point. Our vendor fees take care of our hand washing stations, our insurance, our website. So all of that's already taken care of. The reusable shopping bags, the senior programs, and the banners. That's the only thing that really we're asking for assistance on with this. And that's where that would go.
Well, you mentioned about wayfaring signs. Is that to direct the people that are coming in from out of town?
Yes.
But this money won't be for that. I feel more comfortable.
We can usually, if we talk really nice to the printer, get a couple of paper. We have some water-weighted signs that are on springs. We have 4 of those around town. And our printer, once we buy the 2 banners, usually gives us the paper to go in those. So you'll kind of see those around town. There's one downtown. There's one at the La Quinta. There's one at the roundabout at the Welcome Center. And the other one, I think, sits down by Commercial and where the car dealership is. I can't remember what that road is. Sorry.
Cedar.
Thank you. Oh yeah, because Cedar, yeah, that makes sense. Cedar Street printing, yeah.
Jason, do you have any questions?
So we're not necessarily asking for money. We're not necessarily asking for money for those wayfaring signs, but it is a part of what we do to get people that are in town visiting into the park and into that market. So we're not just thinking localized, we're also thinking kind of the people that are in town visiting. Our farmers market also represents volunteers, churches. We're hoping to have some book sales from the Catholic school this year. So there's some really lovely things that are coming for the farmers market. I really want to be able to reach the folks that maybe we wouldn't traditionally have the opportunity for. How do we get the college kids in? How do we get Spanish speakers to understand what we're doing and share in that culture? So these are all the places that we're moving toward with the farmers market over the next 3 years.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jason, do you have any questions?
I do not. Thank you, Kristen.
Certainly. Do I need to stay or should I go?
I think you can drop. Thanks.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, I don't want to creep your meeting, and you probably need to discuss, so I just wanted to double check. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really wish she had worded it differently. It doesn't seem like tourism. I know she gets people from outside of town, that's great, but I think this is a very much needed program. It's great, but this is not worded for tourism.
I don't know about that.
What are you saying? It's not?
Not worded for tourism. She's
Well,
going to do it for the senior bucks program.
Yeah, but we're also not doing just tourism. We're doing quality of life, and
Yeah.
so I mean we're not
This
restricted.
would come out of the quality of life budget. Yeah, you're right, but in the quality of life also.
I think as long as they can get people off 25 and down into the park, that's tourism, because that's what brought me here.
I would agree.
I was
Money's for the
impressed.
senior bucks program.
I'm impressed at the percentage of car users from out of town. That's
Yeah.
very surprising to me, because I would have said the same thing right away. I think this is a bigger tourism draw than Main Street Live. No offense, Chris.
No, I agree. Main Street Live, and even this partially, and some of them are more what we have here for tourists once we get them here, whatever it takes to draw them here, and then there's things to
Just
do.
keeps them.
So it's an indirect tourism push. This one may have a little bit more because, you know, I literally ask everybody when they come, are you from here? Where are you from? And more than half are from somewhere else. You know, New Mexico, Denver, whatever. And it amazes me the ones from Texas, that how many there are. And not all of them are coming just to buy weed. You know, they're on their way through.
Because after buying weed, they need stuff to eat. So.
Right.
Yeah, I should have put the banners in here, but to me, I'm kind of like, they're working with X amount of dollars on their budget. I'm not that hung up on what's in the application, because in the end, it kind of just offsets, right? So it's like they get a chunk of funds from us and they spend it on They spend so much on the senior bucks, they spend so much on the banners, etc. So, see, I agree. We could just provide that feedback to her to be like, hey, in the future, think about more, what's in line with the board's mission in terms of what you're requesting. But to other folks' point, this could be considered part of the quality of life stuff. I think we just need to think about where we want to pull the funding from and how much we would like to
That was
approve.
my next question.
Yeah.
Where would this come from?
Yep.
What line item, and do we have the funds in that line item?
Quality of life.
There's not really a quality of life line.
Yeah, so we're looking at the Parks and Rec programming. It is held in a park.
Yeah.
Considered parks programming. I mean, it could be.
What do you think this will be?
Sounds reasonable
Is
to
it
me.
programming?
That is where we have the
Sounds
most
reasonable.
money. We
They're never gonna miss a lot.
did just draw $2,000 out of there. So we are diminishing our funds for like these larger projects that we were just talking about. Not the end of the world. I know just for me, I really want to get a couple of those heavy hitters that are very physically obvious, where it's like tourism paid for that, that's around town. Because
Right.
it's way more nebulous to be like, oh, tourism pays for the farmer's market. And people are going to be like, what?
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, the new signage, tourism pays for that. So I just really want to get one of those under our belt this year. So I'm wary of spending all this down too much. If we can't do all those,
What are we working with?
what? Total? Let me see if I can find the number on that. That one I want to say is like around 6 figures.
What is more?
Do we have any money for cheers? Do you
Do what?
If you had to estimate how much it would cost to fix one of these parks, the playgrounds, what would you think?
It depends on how extensive you can do it, but 10,000 probably.
Well, this particular park would be included in the Riverwalk project, so it's not the one that's, Trinidad Park is a different, yeah.
Well, where's the one with the broken slide?
I think that
That's not
might be Kid Carson.
Okay.
That's what my sense is, but it's in Carson that has the issue, but I don't have a small child, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's not something that, if we are able to go ahead with the Riverwalk project, that money will come from other grants and not the Parks and Rec. So we completely do.
We just need more money.
So we're gonna get on education here.
Gotta get that thing passed. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the total on that budget item. In general, I'm in favor of getting them some money though.
I'm not opposed to it.
You mentioned a number 2,000, didn't you?
Yeah, I can second like what you're saying, Joe. I think there's definitely some tourism draw to it. A lot of people like to check out Colorado Mountain Town farmers markets in the summer. It's more of a community thing for sure, but at least there is a tourism aspect to it, so I like that. But yeah, does that Parks and Rec budget make sense? I think that's probably the closest, but I don't know.
Did you suggest 2,000, or were you thinking the whole 3,500 from?
That's what we just allocated to fly fishing.
Oh, okay.
So in terms of
Well, then that's a one-time thing. Definitely farmer's market being, 6.
It is like a weekly event that goes on for several months, so at least the money will go to something reoccurring
Yeah.
over the summer.
Yeah.
yeah, I can't find this right now, so.
No worries.
I would motion to allocate the requested 3,500 from Parks and Recreation's programming to the farmers market board.
Is that your motion?
That is my motion.
Second.
Second that.
And All right, let's do a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I will, it
I,
looks like it's gonna pass, but I'll recuse simply because I am a, 6-year veteran of
Oh,
being a participant in that.
Aye.
And aye. Okay. And that was.
I lobbied for it
Yeah,
enough that
I have to fill out the forms. I don't have a form, then we have to print them out.
Cool.
All right, so that one's done.
Already talked about Fox.
We already talked about the Fox 21 proposal. Anybody have anything miscellaneous?
just that now that we kind of have a consensus from the board to take over the radio, since it's not in the expertise column of DIQ, I will. This needs to be a collective idea and push for educate. What we're going to want to do is use our local radio because it's not a primary tourism venue, but it does help tourism, and it also helps. We want to maintain it for various reasons. In keeping a little bit of a hand in traditional marketing. Plus, we can use it as an educational tool to start promoting the fact that, the tourism dollars are going to build this. We're fixing a slide. We're promoting this festival and everything else, and come up with an actual plan that may include, ads that, it's like I'm talking with City Manager Steve Ruger from Trinidad, and tell us about that slide, or tell us about what you're doing, and maybe getting some interviews from people that have been in town, so you can make a whole story out of it, why they're visiting, and then what we're doing to improve things for them to visit. But it's going to take a whole lot more concentration, effort, and time than really DIQ is. I would say capable of, but I don't know all our capabilities, but is interested in. So if we take it, when we take it in, then we can relieve them of that. I'm willing to, spearhead it. I have way too many years of experience in broadcasting and radio and copywriting and things. I will bring a proposal that can be discussed and massaged to our retreat. I hate the word retreat because it makes me think we need to go to a resort somewhere and have.
We'll be in Pagosa Springs that way.
Y'all aren't coming to the retreat
Massage.
That's where the retreat will be,
in Pagosa.
in the springs.
It is.
No. That's what we were wanting.
Anyway, to finish my thought or my lecture here or whatever. We can discuss it at that point, kind of how we want to, the focus we want to take, and then really set out to educate people, convince them why, we need more money, without saying we just need more money. I mean,
I think that's an excellent idea, and I think it is local radio is very persuasive with locals
yeah,
who have lived here all their lives. And there is a lot of misinformation, I think, that they get.
especially Facebook. But
Yeah.
I had a lady, very prominent, very active on Facebook and everything else, that she said, well, I would have voted for that, but when Karen, said, well, we're going to be able to do some quality of life stuff and some local projects, she says, I wanted to promote tourism. Well, she didn't understand that promotes tourism. The more we can give people to do, the better quality life we have, the better quality of life a visitor has, and we just need to explain that to people, and it can be done. There's lots of ideas, and we'll discuss those at that meetings. I'll bring some suggestions, and then we can tear them apart and see how we really want to take it on. We will probably need to vote on a budget to continue radio after June, so we'd be thinking about that and have a proposal for that too. So anyway, that's all. There's no action or really discussion, just move forward.
Do you have anything?
No.
No? Are you done with Destination Blueprint?
What's the next meeting?
I thought I was asking you. Are you guys done with that portion? Now we're into the other portion
Yes.
of that. Good, yeah.
Nothing for me.
Jason, do you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
I do not either. The next agenda. So far we're going to put back on there the update on the reserve transfer for local events and the recreational facilities and programs, next steps for high priority projects. Does anybody have anything right now that you'd like to add?
Do you want to?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to rethink it, Fox 21.
And I have a proposal for extending that radio contract to the next meeting, so proposal voting on extending radio with Phillips Broadcasting.
And you brought up, should we have a treasurer? Should we have some kind of process in this meeting where we always have what the budget is? So we can look and go, where should it come out
To extend radio?
of? Or no? Do you just always want to have your finger on that?
I mean, I could also be the treasurer if that makes sense, but yeah, we can talk about it at the next one.
Treasurer.
Let's see.
I'm gonna buy a computer
I
that
feel
I
like we
sit
should
in
always
front
have our
of me too,
numbers
so
in
I look
front of
as smart as
us,
you
so we'll
know.
know, we can see
Maybe
how much
cut
is going
gains
down
on
per
it, but-
meeting.
Oh, I was just telling Aaron that I'm gonna buy a computer like that, just sit here, so it looks like I'm as smart as he is.
You can get one of those play school ones.
It's true. It's true. You know, when I was on the O board, they gave us all computers.
Oh, did they?
I don't know what they did with them all. That was because of COVID.
Motion to adjourn today's meeting.
All right, do I get a second?
I say,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye, aye.
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 Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks, Jason.
Coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming.